Good morning, coolest coast. It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts this morning. This is Kristin Odell of Grow with KLO. I'm Tina Prigge of Vagabond Creative Studio. Kristin, we're back.
We're back.
Okay, we have had an eventful month. We each had different kind of vacation trips, adventures planned. And you know what? I am just going to right away pull up my favorite picture, and you have to tell us what is happening in this picture. I see crocodiles. I see you having an adventurous time. This is so cool.
These are alligators, Florida alligators, big Florida alligators. Yeah, so one of our things during the very busy month of October was to take a family trip to Orlando, and we got out of our comfort zone on these zip lines, and that's Gatorland, by the way. I do not represent Gatorland in any way. I'm not complimented by Gatorland. But yeah, so there's 3 members of my family that are adventurous and 2 members of my family that maybe were leery about this, but we did it and we had so much fun and everybody did great.
Okay, so this picture then where the whole family is gathered at Gatorland,
Yeah.
is this before the zipline adventure or after?
Yes, you can see the steps to the left. It's like, here, let's take a picture before you die.
So can we tell by looking at your faces which ones of you are the adventurous 3 and which ones are the scaredy
Okay,
cats?
yes. What do you think? I mean, obviously, I look like I was having fun in that picture, so it's not me.
I can tell from the gator photo before that you were gung-ho.
Yeah.
Nora looks pretty happy. Grace looks a little tentative.
So Josie, who's in the front on the left, and Doug, my darling husband, they were a little bit more leery about heights. 3 of us to the right, no issues.
Okay, so how did it go for them? Because in this picture, they're putting on a really brave face if they were feeling fearful.
Right? Josie did her first run. So there were 5 runs and a rope bridge. Josie did her first zip line run. She was good to go after that. She did so great. Doug, it took like 3. And then he was like, okay, I'm starting to have fun doing it now. But it's like a height thing. He insisted on going last so he could see that all of his family members made it across. I don't know. I can't decide if that's like, oh, that's so sweet, or like, oh, were you seeing if one of us died? We're gonna do that? I don't know. Yeah, we had so much fun.
But he embraced it. Okay, so I love the fact that fearful, tentative, but still did it. And then in the end, if you had taken a photo, was everybody smiling?
Everybody was smiling. We had such a good time. It was like a really great day. Yeah, and then one of the days we did Disney. We got to do Mickey's Halloween party, which was a blast. Which yeah, there we go. There's the amazing castle, but Mickey's Halloween party, you get to trick or treat and it's Halloween themed and there's decorations everywhere and the light show is all Halloween and awesome. And then, yeah, that's a good one. Isn't that so cool? And you can see like the way they project on the castle is just so amazing. The technology is so cool because it literally looks transformed.
Wow. So were the girls like, was somebody on Doug's shoulders for this event?
Were they? I'm trying to think. I think I had Nora on my shoulders and Doug had Josie on his shoulders for a little while. But, as much as we do CrossFit and really try to work hard, the girls are getting to the point that we can't keep lifting them. Like for a long time, the joke was like, I'm going to do CrossFit to keep pace so I can still keep you up. But they're starting to outpace us. So, but yeah. And then towards the end of the week, we hit NASA and we went to the Kennedy Space Center and got to see all these amazing things about the space program. Yeah, isn't that great? So
that's cool. What's something that you learned or saw or did at NASA that really stuck out to you?
By far, the highlight of the whole trip at NASA is the shuttle Atlantis is on display there. And it is so I'm kind of a space nerd. I actually had to tell Doug that. He didn't really know that about me.
I didn't know that about you. I love this.
It's really interesting to me. And we just all were, it was just so cool to see the shuttle, to see just like, all the tiles and the fabric and just the way the whole thing was put together and to learn about the space program. And it was really good.
Were you already alive and kicking when the Challenger happened?
So we talked about this. That was in 1986. I was in kindergarten. And I can distinctly remember, like they would roll the TVs in with like the VCRs on it back then, right?
Yeah.
We were watching, I can distinctly remember watching it. So, it was interesting as we sat and talked with the kids. I grew up with the shuttle program. And that was like a regular thing, like, oh, there's a shuttle launch today. And oh, when do they come back? Our kids haven't had that.
You're right.
So 2011 was the last shuttle. And obviously they're doing a lot more with rockets and stuff now. But so there's been this period of time where our kids have been raised in an era where there isn't really a space program. So it's kind of a weird thing.
That is a weird thing, right? Because for us, it was just a natural part of everything that was happening. It was like the natural evolution. It never felt like that would go backwards or stop existing.
Right. Right. So
Wow.
yeah. So it was really, really good. And I just need to give a shout out. We've got people already watching this morning.
Yeah. Let's say good morning to Mary. Good morning, Connor. Good morning, Shelly. Good morning, Gina and Tom. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
I know, I love it. We're so happy to have you here. We, while I was off also, I had a number of speaking engagements in October. It was just a really incredibly busy month. And I'm so appreciative of, I'm going to say our fans. I'm so appreciative of our fans. First of all, to just show us the grace and flexibility as like entrepreneurs and families to say, we're going to take a sabbatical here. We've got things to do. And then just show up so beautifully this morning.
Yeah, thank you. And it's important, I think, to allow people that space, right? Because when we do this, we want to bring our best selves. Whenever somebody does something, right, we want them to bring their best selves. And if we had tried to like juggle around and figure it out, and you know what I mean, those might not have been the best.
100%. And I can tell you, like, the Wednesday leading up to vacation, we were like exhausted and we were like, 3 more days, just 3 more days, right? And I can sit here today and be like, I feel so ready to do this. I so miss talking with you. Miss seeing everybody coming in. Lori, good morning.
Me too. Good morning. What a nice comment, Lori. I really appreciate it. And she mentions it looks like we've had a vacation. We both went to warmer climates. So my question today is, and I naively thought, I heard the snow is not supposed to last. I didn't realize that meant the cold wouldn't also last. Man, I'm cold today. So do you think, Kristin, because we came from warmer climates, are you and I feeling colder than most people? Or is everyone feeling cold this morning that's here?
I can tell you that I am feeling cold. And I was feeling cold already. Like, we got back last Saturday. So even on Sunday, watching TV Sunday night, I had like a hoodie on and socks on and a blanket on because we went from like 85 to like 35. And now it's more even like maybe 40 or 45 degrees. Like that. No, that's more. That's bad math. It's like 50-degree temperature change. That is significant. So yes, my blood is thin. I need to channel the cold-blooded animals right now. What do you think?
I just have to say good morning to Miho, who's watching us from Japan. That is so cool. Hi, Miho.
Good morning. Okay, so Tina, speaking of Japan, tell us about your amazing international trip.
Okay, so the reason we went on this trip was for the 30th anniversary of the sister city friendship between Manitowoc and Kamogawa, Japan. So for 30 years, there's been this sister city friendship, super vibrant, lots of exchanges happening every summer. Students go back and forth. There's a library exchange where books go, back and forth to each collection. There's art exchange. There's student pen pals, all sorts of, it's just a really vibrant sister city friendship. So there were 8 people from the Manitowoc area, and we went and we represented and celebrated with the citizens of Kamogawa. And it was incredible because we were welcomed like family. You can imagine after 30 years of all of these friendships, and especially like I was really choked up because in the midst of the pandemic, right? Like if you can put yourself back and remember how strange those times were, borders were closed. There was no international travel. And I thought, what if this is it? Like, what if I never get to go again and see them? So as soon as the borders opened, as soon as this became possible, we're like, we have to go, because you just never know like what life's going to do. And it was amazing. It was, I mean, I've always loved Japan, but it's just such a good experience.
How many times have you been to Japan, Tina?
I lived there for 3 years. So this is my fifth trip.
Okay. And tell just the viewers, for us non-worldly people, just give us a highlight reel of why you love Japan and why your trip was so amazing.
Okay, so first of all, as many times as I've been there, I have never seen Mount Fuji. And this time, you guys, look at, I got a close-up view, and there's no guarantee, even if you're in the right spot, that she'll show herself, based on weather, based on what you see. And this is what I got. And so, first of all, I just thought that was such a beautiful, awesome, it was kind of like bucket list achieved. But in addition to like how beautiful the country is and how delicious the food is, my favorite thing, it's the people, just the graciousness and the kindness. Like, for example, this didn't happen on this trip, but something similar did. When I lived there, I was going home for the summer or the winter break, and then I was coming back. So I was going to be gone for a month. So I had a reservation at an airport hotel, flew out, right? Was flying back into the same hotel. So the night that I was leaving, I went to the vending machine and I bought like 2 cans of Coke. But when they came out, I realized, oh my gosh, this isn't Coca-Cola. It's some like knockoff brand, right? So when I opened the first can, I just didn't like the flavor. It wasn't what I was expecting, right? Like, if you want a drink of Coca-Cola and it's not Coca-Cola. So I dumped it out. And then the second can, I just left unopened, right? So now I check out, fly home. I'm gone for a month. I come back a month later and check into the hotel. When I check in at the front desk, they're like, oh, Tina-san, you forgot something. And they like reach under the counter and give me back my can of off-brand cola. And I just thought, that is incredible, right? Like that level of caring about somebody else's possessions, like not taking ownership of something that's not yours, like letting that occupy their brain space and making sure that just summed up so much for me, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what just a genuine compassion for other people. Like, how amazing is that?
Right? Like, would that ever happen here? I don't think so.
I don't know. I want to believe that. If you left something at my house, I would do that.
Right, but we have a personal relationship, right?
Right.
I didn't know them. They didn't know me, right? Other than I was like, I guess, an honored guest, but
I love it. I love it so much. That's so good. Okay, tell our viewers, what did you do on this trip? What were some of the things that you got to do that were highlights?
okay. So first I just want to mention, Miho just mentioned the book Shichan Gochiso. So Kamogawa presented the Manitowoc Public Library with a series of books called Shichan no Gochiso, which means Shichan's Feast. And the author's from Kamogawa. So the entire book is set in Kamogawa. It's about a little girl and her adventures, like exploring and having all these different foods. So it's really cool that those are going to be available for checkout.
Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful you mentioned that. What a cool gift for our library.
Yeah, I know.
Are they available already?
Not yet. They just were presented yesterday.
Okay.
So it'll take them a while to get them into the collections.
Okay. So for those of you who are watching and live in Manitowoc, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
That would
super
be
cool opportunity.
Yes. Amazing.
Speaking of a feast, this is Wagyu beef. And I learned so much about what specifically makes Wagyu beef. And literally the lineage has to trace back to this singular cow. Anyway, aside from all of that interesting facts, this was so delicious. And I just have to give a shout out to Laura Lee, who lives in Kobe. And what's cool is for years, I've heard like Laura Lee lore because she was one of Jason's good friends. And I finally got to meet her and it was incredible.
Tell us so you have this incredible beef. Do you do the little like grill where you grill it on the table?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Which of those was your favorite and why?
Oh, they were all so good. And they were each a little bit different. I really liked bottom right corner, top left corner, bottom left corner. You know what? I liked them all. I really loved them
My
all.
gosh, that looks amazing. I would love to have that experience of doing that, just that cooking style and those. I know I love the variety when you eat. So I think that's such a, first of all, beautiful presentation, but then just that variety you get to have in that plate. What a cool thing.
Yeah, my only regret is that I wasn't more hungry. Before we traveled, we're like, we're going to eat this and we're going to eat this, and every day we're going to have this. And like when I was actually in the midst of it, I was like, I'm not hungry right now. Darn it.
No, I want more. I just saw Tomas Salinas commented, "Good morning, Tomas. Good to see you."
Good morning. And Mary asked, did they have any Halloween stuff going on? Mary, that's such an awesome question. As a matter of fact, they did. Halloween has recently been adopted in Japan. And so there was like Halloween stuff everywhere. We went to a Halloween party where everyone was in costumes. But in Japan, it is the cute side of Halloween. So it's the cutest little witches, cutest skeletons, cute little Frankensteins, right? Cute vampires. It's all of like that fun kind of kawaii side of Halloween. So there's no gore, there's no horror, there's no like mangled bodies or Chucky or you know what I mean? So it's a really interesting take on Halloween.
Yeah, that is so amazing. What did you dress up as, Tina?
So because we had to travel with our costumes, mine was pretty simple, but I had found this orange t-shirt that had all of these different pumpkin faces on it. And then I got these like fake hair pieces that were orange and like purple that had sparkly pumpkins. So I put those on my hair, and then I had a witch's hat.
Cute. That sounds cute. What did Jason dress up as?
Jason had a t-shirt, and it was a Wisconsin t-shirt. So it was like Wisconsin, but it looked like a skull at the bottom. And then he had these awesome like ram's horns, but they,
Nice.
but they were perfect because they were collapsible. So it was easy to travel with.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice. I love it.
Hey, Lori commented, when Kevin and I were in Japan in 2006, I wasn't feeling well and needed a prescription. I didn't even need to leave the room. It magically showed up at our door. The,
Wow.
the level of care is amazing.
I'm impressed, Lori.
Hey, Lori, that reminds me, when I was there, I had a headache, right? And every morning we were on this bus, and they had an amazing and thoughtful itinerary planned for us. But every day we were leaving by like 8 or 8:30 a.m. But I woke up and I had a headache, and I had to get some ibuprofen. And why I didn't travel with it, I don't know. But in Japan, that type of like what we would consider an over-the-counter pain remedy, you can't get at a convenience store. And I knew that, but I thought I would try because the pharmacies didn't open until 9. So I went into a 7-Eleven, and I said to the guy in Japanese, like, hi, excuse me, do you have ibuprofen or anything like that? He was like, no, sorry, it's only available at pharmacies. I'm like, yep, I understand. So I was going to turn around and just finish my shop. And he's like, wait, you can have mine. And he reaches in his pocket, and he had a blister pack of ibuprofen, and it was clearly labeled and still had the instructions on and everything. And he hands it to me, and I was like, what? Like, first of all, this is like that level of care and consideration and just courtesy, graciousness, right? Like, who does that? Especially because if he had it in his pocket and he's at work, he didn't have that for no reason, right? Like, if you go to work with ibuprofen, you probably need it yourself. So Jason tried to give him money. He wouldn't take it. Like, I was blown away. And then so I finished my shopping in the store. And even when I was leaving, he popped out from behind the counter. He's like, take 2 each time. It's 2 a time. You know what I mean? He was like making sure I knew how to use it. And it's funny because of all the amazing stuff we did, that really touched me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just again that people connection and just doing something that, like, that's above and beyond, and just what a caring thing for him to do. And hopefully that meant you felt better for the rest of your day.
I did. I did.
I love that. Oh
And
my
then I
God.
was able to take that to the pharmacy, like, a day or so later, once it was actually open, and show them and be like, hey, can I get my own box of these, please?
Did you go back and give the guy a pack back?
You know what? We actually went back with a gift to give him, and he wasn't on shift.
Oh
And
no.
I didn't know his name. I was like, dang.
Dang it. It wasn't meant to me then. It was just that was your gift for the day.
Exactly. It was that passing
That is so cool.
moment. And it makes me think, okay, every chance that I have to repay that some way in the world, to pay it forward, I really need to pay attention to.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love that so much. I'm so thankful that you guys had a safe trip.
Thank
This
you.
this feels like 100 years ago already.
So this wasn't Halloween, was it?
This was not Halloween.
Tell us. It's so cool though.
The girls and I went to see The Phantom of the Opera at the Capitol when they played the 1925 silent film, and
Yeah.
it was fabulous. The girls loved it.
They
Um,
did. Oh.
They loved it. I think because there was a movie to watch also. Like, Grace went with me last time, she was kinda bored with just the music, but the fact that there was a movie this time, like, ooh, interesting. Um, so many times as I was watching, I found myself not remembering that there was live music in front of me.
Oh.
So amazing how quickly the score just folds into the movie and you don't realize. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting there, I can see the musicians on the stage. It was so good.
I love that there's something of that level to do here in Manitowoc.
I know. And if you ever have a chance to go, I mean, if you ever have a chance to go see the Manitowoc Symphony, go. The Halloween silent film thing, it was so fun. We wore our masks all night. We went out for dinner with my mom. It was just really special and really cool. And we got to pick up those awesome masquerade masks. Like, who wouldn't want to wear one of those?
I mean, how fun to be able to do that with your girls, right? Like, what a cool experience.
Yeah, it was really fun. So I'm sitting here and I see Lori Crawford's name right here in my feed.
Hmm.
And this just feels like the right moment. So the Dose of Hope for Lighthouse Recovery Community Center is this Friday night. This is a community fundraiser and event. There's a community awards being given away. There's raffles and fundraiser items and all kinds of stuff. It starts at 4 o'clock. It is at the beautifully renovated in a Maritime Bay. But guess what? Lori Crawford, she's speaking with her daughter, Megan. There's an incredible lineup of community members who have been affected by addiction and are coming to tell their stories. And I really, really, really hope that you will come and join us.
So here's how to sign up. Simply go to Facebook. I'm sure if you even Google it in Facebook or Google it even just in Google, it will come. How many times can I say Google?
Google it in Google. I will make it even easier on you. I will drop it in the comments after the show today. You can click that link. You can use that to buy tickets for the event. The price at the door is more expensive than if you buy them ahead. So I would encourage you to do that ahead. And if you can't join, but you want to support this movement, you can click the same link and there's an option to donate. Please, please consider doing that. It's a wonderful organization. They're doing wonderful work in our community with recovery. There is people speaking from all over our community. So the drug court coordinator, police officers who are working right alongside our members in recovery, family members of individuals, like, please just think about coming and hearing that. It's going to be a great, great evening. And I will be there.
There is power in sharing stories, right? And I think that it's important because it helps us all understand what somebody might be going through, what we might be going through, and that there's like power in numbers, power in supporting each other through that.
Absolutely. And there is a lot of stereotype and stigma around what drug addiction or alcohol addiction means. And I think, seeing these stories in our community, these are people from our community. These are not from anywhere else. Like, these are real people in our community who have overcome their addictions and who are thriving in our community and giving back and raising their families and doing all kinds of amazing things. So you are going to want to not miss it.
Okay, when you mentioned Lori and an upcoming event, I thought we should also probably mention this event.
Yes. Yes. The Women's Summit. It's happening. I can't even believe it. It feels like so far away, but I know it's going to be here soon.
It's going to be here in the blink of an eye. And this is take 2. We had such an amazing time this past year that we are doing it again. There's even more things that'll be happening this year. It's got a theme of let that blank go.
Yes.
And it's on March 9th. Tickets are now on sale. We would love to share this day with you.
Yeah. So, and this is, grab your mom, your aunt, your bestie, your partner, your daughter, and come and hang out. It is going to be 6 jam-packed hours of really, really good speakers, really, really talented women, and a lot of fun. And I mean, let's be honest, the theme is let that blank go, and it's laid out on toilet paper. You're gonna leave inspired. I think the theme this year lends itself well to leaving feeling lighter, in being ready to kind of go and jump into the, because it'll be a new year, jumping into the year. So
Yeah.
Saturday, March 9th, it's going to be held at the beautiful Franciscan Center this year, which I'm also excited about. Again, great gift for Christmas, guys. If you're
Right.
watching and you need something for your bride, just saying.
Right into the St. Nick stocking even. Yeah, Kim Geyser is going to be joining us this year, and she's going to be doing like a hands-on creativity workshop. I can't wait to participate in that. Another important thing is dress casually, dress comfortably. This past year, people just came in their yoga gear or whatever the equivalent is, and it created such a cool, relaxed, like, this is for me. I'm doing this for myself. Group connection. I can't even explain it, but it was awesome. And
The word I think of when I think about what you're describing is safe.
oh,
It felt safe to come there and kind of like both decompress, but also just kind of unload. And it's always good to know as women that, like, hey, you have people who are struggling with the same thing you are, or here's somebody that can help with that. I mean, there's so many cool resources that pop up.
yeah, it goes back to that power in sharing stories and lifting each other up. One phrase that sticks out for me is empowered women empower women.
Yep, that's right. Spread it.
And lunch is going to be catered by Grow It Forward.
Yes, and they catered last year, and it was so delicious. So you're not going to want to miss that either.
Yeah, no.
I know there's early bird pricing on the tickets. Don't forgive me because I don't remember what it is. Clearly, there's like a lot of tickets and things happening right now, so I can't tell you what it is. But I will also drop that registration for the women's event is through Eventbrite. I will drop the link in the comments as well right after the show, so you can buy tickets.
And if you ever get a chance, be Kobe.
Tell us.
So this is in Kobe, Japan, and just by the waterfront, there's a huge sign that says "Be Kobe." It's a result of, I don't know if people recall, a number of years ago, there was a huge earthquake that really, destroyed a big part of Kobe, and people came together. The people of Kobe, before the government even responded, banded together to make a difference, and as a result of that, it's like this "Be Kobe." So if something is difficult, if something's challenging, if there's something happening, be Kobe.
Be Kobe.
Be Kobe.
I love it. Do you mean by challenging, you mean like a lot of snow flying on Halloween?
Yes, how was Halloween? Did the girls go trick-or-treating?
We did go for a little bit. I didn't text you this picture. If I can drop it in the comments, I will. But we had trunk or treat at school yesterday afternoon, and it was like in the peak.
Sorry.
It was in the peak of blizzard conditions yesterday afternoon. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? We should just postpone this until tomorrow.
It's so unusual for there to be snow on Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
This is only the second time that I remember this happening.
Yeah, a couple of years ago it snowed, but it wasn't like yesterday. I was like trying to hand out candy and the snow was coming so fast I couldn't even see, and it was crazy. So there is a cute picture I'll share. I was a pirate for trunk or treat with my friend Patty, and
yeah. Viewers, if you have pictures of you and your loved ones in your Halloween costumes, send them our way and we will share them and talk about them next week. That would be so fun.
So yeah, tell us. Maybe something we should talk about next week is what's your favorite candy?
What's your favorite candy, Kristin? Oh, you want to save it till next week?
I'm going to save it till next week.
How about guess in the comments? What do you think Kristin's favorite candy is going to be?
Lori Crawford knows the answer. Lori, you can't tell.
Now, I didn't know that you were a space geek, so I love knowing this about you. So I think I'm going to be surprised by what your favorite candy is.
It's out of this world.
I bet it's not nerds, right?
I will reveal the answer next week.
Okay, join us again next week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate seeing everyone. You've been watching Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Kristin Odell of KLO. I'm Tina Prigge, Vagabond Creative Studio. We will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.